know?
We haven't been in a room together. Today was the first time in 8 years.
Wow, is there like a group chat? Is there like a squad text?
We've all been together. We've all seen each other, but not together. Not the four of us.
That's so special. How are you liking the con environment as a group?
A lot going on.
Pretty good, man.
A lot
of signing. But my signature doesn't look like my signature anymore. It looks like someone else's.
Well, I gotta ask the question, if you're a fan of the show, it immediately comes to mind. How much does this feel like that episode? Is this Viking Quest come to life after all these years?
You know, it has in the past. This is, of course, we're doing a lot better than Johnny Drama was doing. He was setting up his own booth. Nobody was showing up. Yeah, that was my first real con. It was a fake, the fake Comic-Con. But
Yeah, we were like, this really exists.
yeah, I didn't know anything about Comic-Cons back then.
It's a whole culture.
Jerry
People's
pulled me-
favorite episode.
Yeah.
Yeah, Jerry pulled me aside today. He said, "This is so surreal. We did this episode." Yeah, we did, didn't we?
So I do this for a living and travel with it. This is the first panel I've fought for to be like, I gotta live that moment from my childhood. Because I came up with this show, and then this is such a formative part for so many people. And I gotta know, what's it like for you guys now with the show being, first season was 20 years ago. Have you had your Day in the Valley moment since? You guys get to like live the revelry?
I mean, it's surreal because I was 23 when the show started, and I'm 44 with 2 kids who are 4 and 2, and I'm able to look back on it now much more in an enjoyable way. When you're in it, you just want the work to be good, and you're just trying to keep the show going. But now it really is nice to look back on it and say, man, that was a hell of a run, and I think we all did something pretty special. And it's nice to look back and visit with people who have meant something to them. You said you were a kid. I'm like, I thought I was a kid. You were way younger than me. How old are you, bro?
I was a sophomore when it debuted, so I'm 35 now. So it was.
I got you out to LA. You said?
Yeah, I moved to LA at 21, and you guys it was LA or New York for film journalism, and it was you guys.
Yeah.
And I live right next to the intro now. I'm in Hollywood.
Yeah, I gotta say, just to Jerry's point, we were having the time of our lives. We were flying high, and we've all managed to land on our feet. Now we're all dads.
Yeah.
That's it. In Hollywood, it doesn't always end well.
True.
I had a daughter when we were doing the show. She's now 17, so that tells you something.
Wow. Are you kidding me?
Yes, Ava's 17. Yeah, she's going to college next year.
The show's all about people not always landing on their feet, but with you guys having done that, is there any moment from the show that you felt that first bit of magic where it felt like a squad, where it felt like this is something special, it's not just another show?
For me, I remember specifically, for those of you who know the show well, the first 2 episodes, I can say for myself, I had no idea what I was doing, and I was probably the most inexperienced of the group. It was the 3rd episode. We did an episode where Vince was going on the Jimmy Kimmel show, and then Johnny Drama had some beef with Jimmy Kimmel, which we handled as a group, and that to me was the episode where it just, I don't know,
Agreed.
magic happened, it clicked. It's like, oh, this is what the show is. And
From really tricky walk and talk.
Yeah.
You gotta do this walk and talk. Yeah.
when they call him up from stage and he's like, oh, do I need makeup? It's like, oh my God. So I think for me, that's where it really came to life.
For me, it was just off camera. Like, we all have such great chemistry, so just meeting these guys and the banter, and it just felt so comfortable that, all you do is just pick up the cameras and then you got gold.
Yeah.
I mean, even today when we were walking from, one building to another, we just kind of looked down the road. We were just walking, and it really
Felt like an
it
Entourage
really
walking
felt
talk.
like, are we shooting the show right now? What's happening? Like we just almost fell into
We
that
really could just shoot our dialogue.
natural rhythm that we walked. It was,
We don't need writers even. Just
Yeah.
shoot us.
And the show really was about friendship, and I think the fact that we have been apart for 8 years, except meeting up individually, and we're together for not even a day, and it's like no time has passed. I think everybody here has probably had a version of that at some point, so that's what we tried to do.
I think that's real friendship, when it feels like the moment is just like you picked up where it left off. And it was funny, like they drove up in golf carts in the back, so that's a long hallway, and I was like, it's an episode of Entourage. And it doesn't usually feel that way. Like, it's usually like, okay, it's working. These guys, there's an energy to the show. And I gotta say, this is my HBO static show. Like, I hear the HBO static, and it goes right into the opening song. Like, when I hear that, Game of Thrones was weird, because I was like, oh, right, no, I'm not there. Is there anything in LA that you drive by that brings you like a visual flashback and brings you to the show?
So many spots, so many, like, What was the hot dog place on?
Pink's.
Nick's. It's like we did a lot of stuff at Pink's.
Well, when you drive down Sunset Boulevard, you can, like, I can see, you know, like with the billboard where your name would be or whatever.
Yeah,
as you go, right?
The
So
opening credits.
Yeah, the opening
it's all over.
credits. Yeah.
It's really funny, like, I grew up in New York. I was only in LA for 2.5 years in the show game, so I learned a lot about LA through the show, and all my friends back home. We gotta come visit you and go to Earth Cafe. It's like, you realize Earth Cafe is not like that on a day in, day out basis, right?
It might be a little
Earth
bit-
Cafe was, we worked at all the Earth Cafes, with stockpile it with beautiful models. So everyone expected it to be like this model hangout, which it really is.
But we shot everywhere. We literally shot.
Yeah, you know, they do the tour. Have you seen that?
Is there an Entourage location tour?
They'll take you to like Earth Cafe, and they'll run you by the original house, and they'll take you to 5 or 6 spots that we shot at. So yeah, pretty cool. Farmers Market, all that.
And if you move out there between 04 and 2010, you do that tour yourself, and you try to find all those spots, like the liquor store with the yellow sign. You're like, oh yes, check. Now, this show also hit at a really interesting time with the type of show it could be. It really evolved and started this really meta commentary of society right now. And not long after, meta stuff became the commentary. Like, we're living in an age of, you know, multiverses and all these things. And what was it like for you guys seeing, like, Aquaman billboards? Like, things that you had made, and then years later, James Cameron didn't direct.
We were just talking about Ferrari, for example, and every day there's a new movie that I didn't get the call to be in.
Get the guy a cameo in the movie.
What was the Cave movie that just came out too, not too long ago?
There's like a Pablo Escobar movie.
Well, Narcos
Pablo
is
Escobar.
arguably Medellin.
Great Gatsby.
And it's just,
Smoke Jumpers.
he
right?
should have had at least a cameo in Aquaman as a really cool Easter egg. Even if you don't love the show, that's fine, but, you know, just put him in there somewhere. I think they really dropped the ball with that, Adrian.
Yeah, that's the only place we've always, I think creatively, everybody's in agreement that they missed the mark was with our version of the Aquaman. It's kind of ridiculous.
James Gunn's rebooting. It's time.
Exactly.
So this is a show that has like so many different groups of fans and so many different people discovered at different times. And I remember the surge in DVD when you could watch it all at once, and then had another resurgence. What have been some of your favorite moments where you realized you found a new pocket of fans and you were like, oh, this has found a new generation?
COVID kind of helped out a bit too. A lot of people were stuck at home, and we got a whole new generation of kids that started watching.
COVID gave it a big boost, just in terms of, well, I mean, you can just do the math and have somebody come up to you and say, yeah, I watched every episode. I'm like, that's impossible. Like, you're 14.
4 times.
Yeah.
I do think that, you know, when the show started in season 1, the ratings were okay, but we had some really cool like I believe it was nominated for a Globe. I think you got nominated in season 1 or Pivot or whatever. But you know, and if we were on any other place, we might not have survived because the numbers weren't through the roof. But then everyone, I don't know if you remember HBO On Demand, which is a long time ago. It launched the summer after we went off the air. And I think every college kid, when they went back to school in September, binge watched the show. So at a time where binge watching wasn't even a thing, if you said that, people would look at you crazy. I think Entourage was one of the first shows that were binged on HBO On Demand.
Yeah, you hit technology to really specific.
Yeah.
I thought the show was for adults, but then grandmas would come up to me and say, this is the only time that I get to hang out with my granddaughter. So we really were a family show, and we would bring the whole family together.
Family show, folks. Family show. Sorry, Grandma.
The show also really balanced nostalgia well with like